Mafia. My name is Oshun. On this channel, we uncover the creepiest, most unusual haunted TikToks the internet has to offer for entertainment purposes only. Y'all are my soul tribe. Tribe is with a Y because the Y is for you, honey. And I just messed that all the way up, but y'all still are my soul tribe. Please like, comment, and subscribe to be a part of the soul tribe for your weekly dose of supernatural, coming to you every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. Like I just fixed that up, honey. And with that being said, today's shout out goes to Miss Shaul Horror. I like your name. Go check her out, her YouTube. I'm taking it. She do spooky content. But she said, "Good morning, Queen. I'm so glad to see you." And she appreciates my work and my time and my effort that I put into you guys in this channel, because it's not easy and I don't take it for granted at all. My time or yours, okay? This is just one of the many things that I do throughout my day, throughout my week. And so when I see these types of comments, it's really, really, really dear to my heart. And I really, 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 really appreciate it. So thank you, boo. I appreciate you. And I appreciate you all, okay? Now, let's get to this video.
Most who are victims of domestic violence, a Webster family who lost a loved one has been pushing for the change. Anchoring the city.
I know I'm not fucking tripping.
What?
Did you guys just see that fly fucking appear in her eye? It literally appeared out of nowhere. What the hell? And then when
She
the
didn't
fly
like swat it away or
falls
nothing. She
from
was
her
just...
eye, you can hear her go. And then she just continues talking like nothing happened. Like she didn't just swallow a fly on live television that appeared out of her eyeball.
She swallowed it? I missed that
A
part.
reptilian. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
All I can tell you right now is I'm grossed out because what the hell?
Right.
Humans don't just have flies appearing out of their eyeballs, so I'm at a loss for words right now.
So how long did the first phase last?
See, what they do is they bring you into the temple, and they have the secretary, which is a male. We're all males. There's no female Masons here. I know in Europe, I think they do, not here. Unless you're an Eastern Star, that's different.
Okay.
But the Freemasons, you got the Blue Lodge, which is composed of all different nationalities and backgrounds of Masons,
right,
to include different religious sets, Hindu, Muslim, whatever. You could be atheist, they don't care. You could be Satan, you could be a devil worshiper.
Wow.
And they'll bring a devil worshiping Bible, right there, satanic Bible, so you could you take the oath. Yeah, they don't care. See, I didn't know that until I started doing more homework on it. Now, what did I get myself into? But
did you ever get that far?
Oh yeah, I became a Master Mason.
Okay.
I mean, the highest you go is 33rd, but
okay,
even at 32nd, see, from the ranks of 30th to 33, which is 3, that's when they divulge the actual truth to you.
I got you.
You know, which they have you in darkness all those years, and then once you start climbing up the rituals and the phases, and you go up the ranks or degrees,
right,
we call it. You could go from the 3rd degree to the 32nd degree in a weekend.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you could do it in 2 days. They call that the fast track.
These Hollywood people, they give land millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, yeah. It all depends, because those are called dues, right?
Okay.
And you talking about occultic, satanic individuals that work in Hollywood, you know, of you know, reverence, of money, of people of power. You know, I didn't know all that, because when you got scales in your eyes, you can only see so much.
Right.
But when God removes those blinds off your eyes, you start seeing who's who for what they are.
Wow.
You know, and not every Masonic lodge. I mean, they all talk about the same, but everybody's different. You know, because in order for you to be a Shriner, you got to be a Mason. For you to be a Knights Templar, you got to be a Mason. And the more you go up in that pyramid, and the highest you could go is a Rothschild.
Right.
They're the highest of the highest.
Really?
Yeah, they're the satanic children of Satan.
Wow.
They actually sit on the table, and they have a special chair for Satan right there. And he comes and talks to these family members, and they're the ones that the shaking and bakers, I call it.
Now, this all has to do also with the those people who go out into the wood and they burn that wooden owl and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you talking about those the Illuminati?
Illuminati. Okay, so
Right.
this has to do with them.
Oh yeah, you have to be a Freemason to be that. All the presidents were Freemasons.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
He said I disrespect. Excuse me, I've never heard nobody say that. I disrespect you for that. What? He said it kindly, too. Oh, my goodness.
You know the theory behind why restaurants give you bread before your meal?
Like, there's actually a theory?
So when you go into some restaurants, they will either give you a free basket of chips or a basket of bread, right?
Yes.
But what if I told you it's not the restaurants being nice? There's actually a dark reason why they give you this bread. So recently, scientists released a study where they found out how bread is digested inside your body. It only takes 15 minutes for the sugar from the bread to digest her. And we all know that bread is like sugar for the body. When the sugar is in your body, it gives you a boost of energy. Then, once the sugar starts to leave your system, we start to feel tired. And we also want to eat more food, especially sugary food, to replace that low. So the theory is that the restaurants give you bread to boost your energy, because it actually makes you hungrier later on in the meal and makes you order more food or dessert.
Oh, okay.
There have also been studies that found out that restaurants that give out bread sell 90% more desserts after their meal.
I mean, personally, baby, when I get that bread and then I eat my meal, I barely can finish my meal. So if I do get dessert, it's coming with me, just like my meal is. But for the most part, I won't get dessert because I'm full. Bread makes you full. I don't know. That's why there was a running joke back in the day. When you went to jail, they gave you bread and water because it kept you full. So I don't know about that. All right now. I don't know. And it's crazy. This particular TikTok is 33 seconds long. Numbers be numbering.
You heard about the Lady Gaga one?
What's a Lady Gaga
Where
one?
they found in a hotel in London.
Yeah.
She came out of it, and in her hotel room was a bath.
What?
So the maids who were at that hotel thought that she was performing a satanic ritual. If you watch her performances, she always smears herself
With
in
blood?
blood during her performances. Lady Gaga was Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She had a friend that she was really close with. I think her name was Lina Morgana, I think. They used to make tracks together. They used to do all the stuff together. But one day, Lina, a hotel balcony.
Yeah.
This didn't get published like anywhere.
Yeah.
And this is the craziest Lady Gaga thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
People saying that she has powers.
What do you mean by that?
So someone threw something on stage and there was a shield. And this is not fake. This is in real life. I'll show you right
Let
here.
me see this.
Boom.
Wait, what?
You see that? Watch slowly. Watch slowly. Watch for the t-shirt. Boom. What the fuck? Boom. Yo. Shielded. There's no cover on stage.
The heck? I know that's right, baby. That's how my protection is from my ancestors and my oppressors. Try me if you want to, but you can't get to me. Yes. Ashe. Oh, I love that. and not a few years ago. I mean, I liked her performance. I don't know if it was like ritualistic, but I think she's an excellent dancer.
We found a huge abandoned Freemasons mansion in Portugal. Everything was left inside. We found antique furniture, real human hair, diaries from the 1700s, old portraits, and lots more. The people who lived here must have been very, very wealthy. Each room littered with expensive drink and other luxuries. The mansion had around 9 bedrooms, each one as grand as the next. Solid wood beds and wardrobes. I can only imagine the parties held here. I wonder where all the people went.
Can y'all feel that energy from this video?
And why no one has returned for all these things.
Yeah, that's amazing. But I do not receive any energy from this video. Yeah, I do not receive any negative energy from this video. Although I didn't feel any, it was just like heavy. And, but not bad heavy. Like, they had a good life and, you know, something might have happened. And, yeah, but I don't want to deal with it. So, I do not carry or receive any of that energy. And every time I wash away any energy that is not mine to carry, okay? Period. I say that every time I wash it, take a shower, whatever. Anyway.
You know the flowers in the SpongeBob sky?
The flowers. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what those are?
No, they're just flowers.
Like these things.
They're like resembled as clouds.
These things. Yeah, they resemble as clouds, right?
Yeah.
That's the common belief, but it's not.
What is it?
Those flowers, the colorful ones, they're not clouds because in the show.
Oh wait, I have a guess. Since SpongeBob is all about war, right?
Yeah.
Are those the poppies?
No.
Oh, okay. That would be a crazy guess.
No. That's interesting. Yeah. There's an episode where those flowers actually get covered by other clouds. Like, I don't know if you remember the surfing episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there are clouds in SpongeBob, but those flowers aren't clouds.
What
you
are
know
they,
what they
bro?
are?
This guy is fucking edging me.
It's really interesting. Yeah. Because they're actually.
If you're a freak, you know what I mean. But what are they? Like, I didn't cut it off. So calm down. First of all. I want to know the rest of that too. Y'all be tripping.
Imagine that this folder is a dimensional plane. Now, assuming that it is no height and no depth, what would this mean? It would mean that it's a one-dimensional world. So if, hypothetically, an organism was living inside of it, it would only be able to move in a linear path forward and backwards in a straight line. Now, if we go to the second dimension, we have two dimensions. We have width and we have length. So hypothetically, if an organism lived inside of here, then it would be able to move up, down, left, right, and anywhere else in between. And a two-dimensional world is comprised of an infinite series of one-dimensional worlds stacked upon each other. Just as our three-dimensional world, which has depth and length and height, is comprised of an infinite series of two-dimensional worlds. So, now that I have stacked many folders upon each other, we have three dimensions. We have depth, we have length, and we have width. Now what happens if you keep going on from here on out? We would have a four-dimensional world. But what exactly is a fourth dimension? In order to understand this, we need to understand how dimensions are perceived. We live in the three-dimensional world, but despite that, we actually view things to be two-dimensionally. Take a perfect sphere, for example. If you're looking at a sphere, it looks just like a regular two-dimensional circle. The only way that you can tell it's an actual sphere instead of a circle is because of the hues of light on it. So just like in a two-dimensional world, if a organism in the two-dimensional world was looking upon a circle, the light would make it appear to be lighter at one end and darker in the middle. Also, if an object is moving closer and farther away from you, you don't actually perceive that it's getting closer and farther away. You see that it's getting smaller or larger, and then you assume that it's getting either farther away or closer. But let's say that an object was to grow in perfect equilibrium, so that it was growing at the same speed that it was shrinking as you move it farther away. Then you would not be able to tell, without any light or if there were details on the object, that it's moving or growing at all. You may have assumed that since we perceive things to be in two dimensions, that a two-dimensional organism would see in one dimension. So, as we're watching this rubber band expand as it moves farther away from this little organism in the two-dimensional world, it does not actually perceive anything is happening to it because it's growing at the same speed that it's moving farther away. But since we can actually see it from the three-dimensional world and perceive things to be in two dimensions, we can see things for how they actually are. The reason that the two-dimensional organism doesn't see things the way they really are is because the two-dimensional organism sees things in one dimension, just how we, three-dimensional creatures, see things in two dimensions. So in a way, we don't really see our world the way it truly is. A four-dimensional creature, however, seeing our three-dimensional world in three dimensions, would be able to see through things, would be able to see absolutely everything, just as we could see if there was several organisms spread along a 2D environment on your floor. You would be able to see inside houses, you would be able to see inside of people. So if a two-dimensional world, a flat surface, is just made of an infinite amount of lines, then the 3D world is just made out of an infinite amount of planes. So the 4D world, logically, is made out of an infinite amount of 3D objects. Though they're not just put together like you would like building blocks. That's not how the 4D world is. That would just be 3D again. So in order to understand this, we need to understand the logical progression of mathematics in our world. Imagine that this connects piece represents the first dimension. It's simply a straight line, which is basically what the first dimension looks like. And if you add 3 more of these straight lines and connect them so that adjacent sides are perpendicular and opposite sides are parallel, then you have the basic shape of the second dimension. You have a square. Now if you keep going from here and you add it so that there's a total of 4 squares, and all adjacent sides are perpendicular, and all opposite sides are parallel, then you end up with, obviously, a cube. So, if you tried to keep going from here, and you would have a 4-dimensional basic shape, you would have what's called a tesseract. Now, I cannot show you a tesseract, but you need to understand that it's basically 4 cubes that are within each other that have all adjacent sides perpendicular and all opposite sides parallel. Yet there are 4 lines connecting to each vertex. So a tesseract would look somewhat like this picture. Now that's not exactly what it looks like because this is a 2-dimensional depiction, and obviously not all of the lines are straight. So I cannot show you what a tesseract actually looks like because we cannot perceive things in the 3rd dimension. You cannot even imagine what a tesseract looks like. You cannot in your mind picture the fourth dimension or a fourth dimensional shape. And you can keep going on from the fourth dimension even. You can go to the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the 71st dimension. It doesn't matter. Theoretically, there are an infinite amount of spatial dimensions. A common misconception of the fourth dimension is that the fourth dimension is time. Now, while some argue that by going forward and backwards in time, if you move forward the same distance and backwards the same, then you would end up in the same place you started, just like in the fourth dimension. And while that may seem logical, if you think about it, it really doesn't make sense. If you imply that the fourth dimension is actually time, well, first of all, time is not spatial. There's a difference between space and time, quite obviously. And assuming that all dimensions are according to a pattern, then that doesn't really make sense either, because saying the fourth dimension is time, every dimension has time in it. So that would mean that the fourth dimension is special in some way, which doesn't really make any sense. Another reason this doesn't make sense is that we very, very, very slightly travel through time whenever we move due to the distance that light takes to get to our body. Now, if a group of astronauts were to get in a spaceship and they were to go very, very, very close to the speed of light, then they would, and they went around in this impossible, nearly the speed of light spaceship for a few months, and then afterwards they returned to Earth. They would find that Earth had actually progressed a few years, so they had moved forward in time by moving that quickly. Another interesting concept involving the fourth dimension is that many physicists and even mathematicians may say that the dimensions are very, very slightly curved, because if you really think about it, nothing can be truly, absolutely infinite. So imagine that the first dimension, the line, is just very, very slightly curved, so that after a very long time, it will end up creating a circle. So, as suggested by many physicists, if you keep going in the same direction, then you will end up where you started after a very, very long amount of time, obviously. And the same thing would happen to the second dimension. If it's just a square, and then you extend it very, very slightly in a curve, and it will eventually make a sphere. And the same thing happens in our dimension, except it will form a very, very slightly curved third dimension, which will form a four-dimensional universe, basically. So what this kind of means is that our three-dimensional world is within a four-dimensional world, and the four-dimensional world is within a fifth-dimensional world, and so on. Now, I did say that nothing can be truly infinite, but if this is true, and a dimension is really within another dimension, within another dimension, within another dimension, then I'm implying that there's an infinite amount of dimensions, which is the only problem I really have with this theory. I'm not sure if it ever stops, or if infinity is really even possible. We don't know that. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope this gave you a better idea of what the fourth dimension is.
Awesome. Oh boy. I seen maybe the first 3-4 minutes of this video. I'd never seen this entire video. This was awesome. I'm obsessed with science. I love science. I love physics. I love the quantum world. I love biology, microbiology. I just love science, like anatomy, physiology, all of it. And that was amazing to me. And it says that he disappeared. I don't know when this was recorded, but sending prayers and thoughts and positive energy to this young man. I hope he is safe. And yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate him. Thank you. Okay.
Inside Out 2. Joy in the movie, she's yellow, but she has blue hair. You know why they did that on purpose?
Love that movie.
No. Sadness in the movie is blue. That's her color.
Yeah, because sad is blue.
Pixar is trying to say that without any sadness, you can't have joy.
Oh, so her hair is blue
but
and
her
she's
thing
yellow.
is fun, yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
Because this is where it gets crazy. The dad in Inside Out 2 is Andy's dad in Toy Story.
Wow.
In Toy Story 3, Andy's dad moved and bought a new place and they all moved out.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
Just randomly.
No, and he had a new family.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember now.
Look at Riley's dad and look at Andy. Without the beard, they look identical.
same.
In the movie, like there's core memory
Disney is
balls,
wild.
right?
Yeah.
Riley's core memories, she was in a playground. Remember in Toy Story 3 where they escaped the bear?
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
bear? The same playground that they escaped was in Riley's core memory.
Oh,
So it was
she
hints.
was there.
Yeah, so it was hints of Toy Story / Inside Out 2.
Wow. I mean, I did notice that, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Didn't it sound like that the AC was blowing though? Oh, they got Medusa's head. What is that? You gotta be careful. A vacant community. You better get up out of there. Stay safe, not stay tuned.
Why is no one freaking out about the fact that time is moving significantly faster? Come on, you have to have noticed it too. I feel like after 2020, the concept of time has really been skewed. Fridays are getting here at the blink of an eye. Weekends literally feel like 18 hours. I feel like I was just 22. And then I blinked and now I'm 26. And I'm like, holy fucking I understand they say that time moves fast. There's something a little abnormal here. I don't know if you guys have seen this creator's video, but she talked about the universal time being off. And she knows all the scientific terms and she breaks them down in her video. And when I saw that video, I swear to God, it all just made sense. Because I've always thought this, but I couldn't prove it. Basically, in her video, she explains that the center of the Earth is now moving slower, which is causing the outer of the Earth to speed up. So we're actually going around the sun much faster than we were before. And scientists are actually onto this already, as they are currently trying to figure out
They said
what
there's
the next
negative
steps
time
are.
now.
And they have until, I think, November of 2029 to make a decision as to what they're gonna do in terms of time. Something about removing milliseconds and leap seconds so that the speed of the Earth can line up with time. Which, if you're a conspiracy theorist, well, I don't even think you have to be a conspiracy theorist for you to know that time is literally made up. Like, it's a man-made concept. It's literally the tracking of the sun. That was the original concept of time. But even that, to me, is just, it's a little weird to me. Does the sun actually go around the Earth every day at the same speed? And if time is not real, how would you calculate that? I don't know. But I recommend you guys go watch that creator's video. She went really in depth. So if you're one of those people who feel like time has really been just speeding, you're not the only one. Universally, which means worldwide, the whole shit is off. So, food for thought. All right, from your favorite Haitian homegirl.
So if you've ever seen this tree, you've either fallen in a rip of time and now you're in a different time zone, or you're about to witness something very dangerous to your life. Like you're about to die. So I'm gonna show you this pic. Have you ever seen this tree before?
Let me see.
Okay, this tree. There's something like this. You know how you said there's a malfunction?
That don't
This
even
tree
look
is
real.
a real life malfunction in life.
What is that?
So it's called a Leopidodendron tree, right?
Why is it just in the middle of nowhere?
No, because it's like it's supposed to spawn if you like fall in a rip of time. So like this tree existed when dinosaurs were around. So it was extinct 250 million years ago, right?
So it just appeared. That's a glitch. Like
Yeah. So when a lot of people have been like saying like, oh, I'm at a cottage right now. Why do I see this tree? It's like, have I been fallen into another dimension and shit like that?
Interesting.
So everybody's trying to say like, look, you see it in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people are saying like, yo, is this a glitch in the Matrix? Like, why am I seeing this if it's extinct? You know what I mean?
Okay, my thing about that is if it's extinct and they supposedly fell into a time glitch or whatever, why is their cell phone working? How are they able to take a picture and tweet it at that time in the present if they're supposedly in a glitch? That makes sense. And then it was a little blurry. That could have been photoshopped in, so who knows? But I've never heard this. This is my first time hearing this. So I'm a skeptic.
Now this may seem remote and abstract to you, but I'm going to specify one particular common case. Some of you may be offended, but I say this in love because I know it to be true. There is a very common covenant group, a secret society that prevails throughout the English-speaking world, which is Freemasonry. And if you are involved in Freemasonry, you are under a curse. Not only you, but your family and your descendants. And I speak this from experience. Ruth and I have encountered this. We've dealt with it. We've come to the root of it. Freemasonry is a false religious system. Whatever you may say, it's not a secret. That's bluff. The main ceremonies of Freemasonry are known and have been published by people who are not Freemasons. To take simply one example, the Royal Arch degree acknowledges a God whose name is Jah-Bul-On, J-A-B-U-L-O-N. Jah is short for Jehovah, Bul is short for Baal, and On is short for Osiris. And any system of worship that combines the true God with Baal and Osiris is abomination in the sight of the Lord, no matter who practices it, even if it be an Anglican bishop or the Archbishop of Canterbury, who previously was a Freemason, not the present one. It makes no difference. God is no respecter of persons. We have seen the most terrible consequences in lives and families because of this.
All right now.
So let me show you it again. The 33rd.
So in Freemasonry, they stop at the 33rd degree because they only control 33 degrees of the arc, 33.3 to be exact. And the lesser degrees, which are, I guess, let's say all the way up to like 13 or 14, in those degrees, thousands of men fill those degrees. So you can have 40,000 men all still or more still sitting at the 5th degree or the 6th degree of the Freemason, right? However, the higher degrees, only one, if not none, as they say, when they go above 33, 34, no one is filling those seats. There's not a Mason in the lodge that can fill those seats because that's not what they're aligned with. They're aligned with the 33 and the 3rd, all the nighttime animals, all the animals also created by the jackal. So in that, you can also see why they say that good will always triumph over evil. But remember that, as they are talking about in these scriptures, that this evil is working night and day. What they're really referring to is that constantly in the subconscious mind, night and day, the 33% of your consciousness that sits below the horizon is constantly trying to convince you to come over to that side. And what's happening in the reality now is that it's starting to look like, you know, even after the last scenario that happened here on Earth, it was very clear that the dark side, if you may, had like gained some foothold. So it's like when you think of the 66.6, you may think, well, we're always going to win this. But as time rolls out, man, sometimes that thing may even look like 50-50. 50 sitting on the side of the dark, 50 sitting on the side of the light, quote unquote. Now, imagine when I'm telling you all about this, I'm also saying that, hey, there's a level that you reach where you realize, hey, you're on the battlefield and you're like a toy soldier being strung along by the archetypical energies that are used in order to manage the matrix and to continue to create it through infinity. Nobody's going to stop infinite physical creation for the quote unquote negativity that is going on inside of it. It's up to you to take a moment and say, hey, that way that I'm acting, especially when you show characteristics that the characteristics are not good traits. Nobody needs to tell you about this. They say that you have your own internal compass. It's always telling you when. It's like, yo, you, what's up with you? And you keep stacking it on more and more and more. So then what you're doing is you're getting more weight. So let me lay out really briefly the diagram of these kingdoms. So
all right now, Walkstar TV. I agree with what you were saying. I have to say this because it's on my mind. I don't judge anybody, you know, and people look how they look. But his lighting, I'm going to say it's his lighting. His lighting makes him look very reptilish and kind of evil. So try to put the light in your face more, in my opinion. But I definitely feel what you're saying and where you're coming from.
That's why people say like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Maybe you woke up on like this side of the bed and you weren't facing north or wherever you usually face. Tap in the comments which direction you guys sleep in. And tap in if you guys actually try. No, like actually try sleeping in north. Yeah. And let me know if it actually affects your sleep. Because
like legit, if you can, whatever kind of phone you have, turn on the compass and see which way your bed is facing. If it's not facing north and you're able to face it north, please do that, the head of your bed, or whichever way your bed is facing, sleep on your bed facing north. I promise you, it'll make a huge difference in your life. Trust me, just try it.
What is going on in this secret Freemason cave? Recently, a hiker in Oregon shared a video while he was on a hike through the back mountains when he came across this strange cave with a Freemason logo etched on the entrance. At approximately 500 meters in, he came across two wooden stadium-like benches facing each other in close fashion, just enough space for a group of people to stand in between. Thinking nothing of it, he pushed on in. But things started to get weirder as he slowly started noticing shoes that could only fit small children littered on the ground, which eventually led to a whole pile of children's shoes. Not only that, strewn in between the shoes were a bunch of bones of unknown origins. Even though many of us can guess what this cave was used for, maybe we should clarify.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What?
Did you know that each of your dreams could be a glimpse of a parallel life you are leading in another universe? Brace yourself. This will give you shivers. There's a theory suggesting that our dreams aren't merely figments of our imagination, but real glimpses into other dimensions where a version of ourselves is living a slightly or radically different life. Each time you wake up from a dream that felt incredibly real, it might be because it was real, but in a parallel world. The decisions you made in that dream are reflecting choices you've made in another life. It's a concept of the multiverse that broadens the horizons of what we consider our reality. In other words, your dream last night was not just a dream. It was a day in your life in another universe. And every night you get the chance to visit this other you, to explore paths you haven't taken here. It raises a dizzying question. What if the you in that universe is dreaming about your current life right now? It's an endless loop of possibilities and coexisting realities.
I legit love to sleep. Like, when people be like, oh, all they need is 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep, and they can't sleep well, and baby, I love sleeping. Like, I literally go to a whole another world, several other worlds, and it's a great, great, great time. I love to be asleep. Like, I literally feel sleeping and smoking marijuana is why I'm still alive, because I survived cancer, and through my my years of experiencing that journey at that time of my life, sleep and smoking some good weed saved my life. Besides my family, of course, my loved ones, and, praying and just, being like, staying positive. But meniscal things, I feel dreaming, sleeping and smoking weed had a big part of my survival. I'm going to say that.
I sacrifice all of my feelings for the right ride.
Would you rather I give you a story time with my lashes like this or no story time at all? Exactly, so go get your snack. Now, before I tell y'all this story, I just want to let y'all know that I'm doing 12 days of spooky Christmas stories on my YouTube. So if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. And you better be subscribed to my Instagram too if you want your story to be part of the 12 stories. Well, not 12 stories, but 12 days of stories. You get it. So make sure you're following me on Instagram and make sure you're subscribed. Why weren't you anyway? Especially when you're threatening to take this app away. How else are you supposed to listen to my stories? Exactly, yup. You better have your snack now, because I was talking this whole time. You should have been got it. And for this week, let's do no sweets for snack. Like, you can have, like, it doesn't have to be healthy like last week, but it can't be sweets. I'm watching you. Anyway, so there's this girl. Let's call her Eliana. Let's do Ellie for short.
Clean eating.
In Puerto Rico. And she came here when she was like 13-ish. So she already had the Puerto Rican experience while still learning the American experience. You get what I mean? She moved from Puerto Rico to New York. And she left behind her grandmother, who was like her best friend when she was in Puerto Rico. They still kept in contact and they spoke and everything like that. They spoke on the phone or on WhatsApp. Fast forward to about 10 years later, she's in the U.S., but her grandma is still back in Puerto Rico. And one day she finds out that her grandmother unfortunately passed away. Now with this news, everybody's obviously devastated. I mean, Ellie loved her grandma. And it was even more sad that Ellie didn't get to see her grandma before, you know, she passed. So obviously her and her family, they have to fly back to Puerto Rico for the funeral. And that's what they did. They flew back, they met with family, they had the funeral, everything was great. And while she was out there, come to find out that her grandma left her a gift, like a gift specifically for her. And that gift was a doll. Apparently her grandmother had this doll her whole life and she wanted Ellie to have it. She even went as far to put a note on the doll that says, protect her and she'll protect you. So Ellie finds this super comforting. At least she has something that she know her grandma wanted her to have. So when it was time for her to leave Puerto Rico, she left. She came back to New York and she came back with her gift, her doll. So fast forward to about a month later. Weird things started to go on in Ellie's place. Things like she would always hear whispers and it seems like it's coming from the doll, but it's driving her crazy because the doll can't be whispering. And sometimes she could have sworn the doll is whispering in Spanish. If it's not Spanish, it's some language that she can't understand. However, she's not going to get rid of that doll. That is a doll that her grandma wanted her to have. So one day, Ellie is having an argument with her boyfriend. And the argument got really heated to the point where the boyfriend was yelling at her. And right in the middle of the argument, he stops and he says, what the hell was that? Ellie's mad, so Ellie's like, what the hell are you talking about? Boyfriend's like, you didn't hear that? Somebody just told me to shut up. And I know it wasn't you because it sounded like a man's voice. Ellie didn't hear anything, so Ellie's like, are you trying to fuck with me right now? But the boyfriend was being dead ass because he heard that. And Ellie didn't really believe him. And anyways, that got looked over. But it's weird things like that would happen, right? So boom, fast forward. Ellie's at work. Ellie works in the healthcare system. And y'all know how toxic like the healthcare community is. So there's a coworker that she does not like and that doesn't like her. That coworker is sort of like a bully to Ellie. And one day, because of that coworker, Ellie got in trouble for no reason. So Ellie was really bummed about it. She came home and she was on the phone with her friends complaining about it, right? So she sleeps over the situation. She wakes up the next day and she goes to work. Except that coworker wasn't there. So she's thinking that coworker is trying to duck her because of what happened yesterday. But come to find out, that coworker was admitted to a different hospital because that morning the coworker woke up in so much pain and there were scratches all over her. And it was bad to the point where she had to be hospitalized. So boom, Ellie is like, yeah, karma, whatever. I feel bad for her, but like, you're a bully. So she doesn't really think too much of it and she goes home like normal. Except when she went home, that doll was sitting on her bed when that doll was supposed to be on the shelf where she put it. So immediately she's creeped out. She's like, what the hell? Did somebody come in here? Like, and when she got closer, she realized the doll had something in its hand and it was the coworker's wedding ring. She recognized it because she sees the coworker every day. So she's like, nah, there's no way. And at that point, the antennas started going up. So she called her other coworkers to try to get some more tea, and come to find out, when the other coworker, the bully, woke up with scratches and stuff, her wedding ring was missing. And at first the doctors thought that somebody had drugged her and robbed her, right? And just like, you know, essayed her. But when they tested her, there were no drugs in her system. Nothing unusual.
Whoa. Whoa. I did not stop it, okay? It stopped on its own. And I don't have the rest of the story. Go to the Real Blizzy's story. Go to her TikTok. Go to her YouTube. Support. Run it up. But don't cuss me out in the comments. Thank you.
I have a theory for the universe, and I need you to listen up. So let's say this is the beginning of our life, and this is the end of our life. When you're thinking about reincarnation, it's as if you go through your entire life, and then at some part, you just start over, and then you continue on to the next life, right? But we think in linear terms as human. What if it's not actually linear? What if this life is happening from start to finish, and then your other life is happening from start to finish, and your other life is happening from start to finish, and they're all happening at the same damn time. And the core of all of those experiences make up the entirety of who you are, not only on a human level, but your fucking soul. But what if your soul is just a circle that is existing? Possibly a galaxy that is just existing. And all of these lives happening up at the same time make you who you are. So instead of going from this life and then back out here to this life and back out here, what if it all just is? And this is the isness of life.
The isness.
I think I figured it out. But one thing that I've also thought about, the fact that like we have the Apple Cloud and it has every single person's videos, their photos, all of their experiences on their phone, right? Even if you do not go into the Apple Cloud and push play on a video, the entire 10 seconds of that video exists. That moment in time fucking exist. So you get to choose what video to watch. Even if you think about Spotify, every song is playing at the same time on Spotify, but it's not until you push play that a song starts playing for you. But if you don't push play, that song still exists. That song still makes sound. Every single second and point in that sound exists and is playing in that moment. It's fucking insane. I feel like I've cracked some type of code. This book actually started all of my questions for this shit. I swear to God,
I need to get that.
It goes over a lot of sacred geometry and like shit that like really wakes you up. There's more than we know. You know, I feel insane explaining these concepts sometimes, especially to like just my normal friends. So it's crazy to be here on the internet explaining this shit.
I get you, boo. I get you. I get you. I really want to get that book as well. Absolutely, okay. But you reached the end of another video. I hope you appreciate this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your love. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I do not take it for granted whatsoever. Y'all are my soul tribe. Tribe is with a Y because the Y is for you, honey, and that's because I love you so freaking sneaking much. Yes, I do. Thank y'all for being here with me, honey. And you already know what to do with it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, ding, so you get a notice every time you go drop another video, and then give it to who? Everybody you know. Even the people that you don't know. Even the people that you don't like that you do know. Because your bestie and your enemy can get it, okay? It's an equal opportunity over here. All we do is spread kindness, love, positivity, support, and abundance of all good things and wealth. Let's get it. Ashe.